It's January 1st, 2023. Yeah, just filming.
Whoa!
Sick cross.
What are those?
I started my new year by going on a hike with some friends, and my resolution is to do 24 new things while I am 24, so I'm calling this 24 for 24. So I'm going to be doing a monthly vlog where I go over some stuff that I've done throughout the month, and also be sharing my things that I'm doing while I'm 24. So feel free to skip to what section most resonates with you, but I hope you enjoy this video and this sort of vlog compilation monthly thing that I'm going to be doing for all of this year, and maybe continuing onward.
Rainy, do you have a New Year's resolution?
No.
Good talk.
New Year, say me.
All right, Brewster, what's your New Year's resolution?
Eat more chicken.
What's your New Year's resolution?
Drink more.
Drink more.
Water.
Oh, thank God.
Said we like each other. You do. Oh, it's just you. Someone said something funny. Your mom.
Tomorrow, I change my body permanently. I'm getting a tattoo. I've been thinking about this for quite a while, about 2.5, 3 years. And now I'm finally going to get it done. I'm 24, and this was at the top of my list for my 24 for 24. Now, I'm not really worried about the fact that it might be painful, it might, there's needles involved, not my favorite thing. I'm more worried about the permanency because I have not gotten a tattoo before, and I know that what I am getting is meaningful and will always be meaningful to me. The thing is more so trusting an artist that I haven't worked with. I'm not questioning his skill, but I'm questioning if it's going to turn out like the image in my head. That's the only thing. Sent him my inspiration and whatnot in the scheduling of it. So we're gonna just see how that goes. So, yeah, big day tomorrow. Let's just go get it done. Alright, so it's been a little over a week since I got my tattoo. And so, rapid fire. Here are some things that here are some things about my tattoo. First off, I got a snow globe. It is something that is meaningful to me. It has a snowman in it. My birthday is in December. I collect snowmen. That's out of the way. So I picked something that will always be meaningful to me. And not that I'm saying you shouldn't pick something that's just funny or artwork. That was just my thing. I wanted something that would always be meaningful to me. How did I decide on what tattoo parlor / artist? I spoke to everyone I know who has a visible tattoo that I see regularly. Asked them their thoughts, their opinions. They basically told me it would feel like cat scratch, and that I should just email the parlor first and ask them, hey, do you have any artists that do this style? This is what I'm thinking. Like, what's, the price range? So I did that. I emailed a tattoo parlor that one of our friends has gone to, and one of my coworkers has gone to. So I've seen some of the work that has come from them. They were like, yeah, sure, we do that style. And then I scheduled it. Pretty straightforward, pretty simple. As for actually getting the tattoo, I personally didn't even feel it. Like, I had stress sweat. My mom held my hand. My mom also got a tattoo. But I was super stressed. I decided to go first. I laid down. He's like, okay, we're gonna start. I'm gonna do a line. This can be your tap out. Didn't even feel it. You know what I did feel though? I felt my stomach jiggle. Obviously I got it in a spot that I'm not gonna hit any, they weren't ever gonna come close to hitting any bones. I've got a little bit of padding, you know, not too bad. Barely felt it, felt my stomach, like the fat on my stomach jiggle. Yeah, it's very straightforward. They had a QR code which took me to a web page for the release form. They were cash only. They had an ATM. Not much to say on that front. Aftercare, they basically just put a blue paper towel on it and were like, take it off in like half an hour. Took it off, and their recommendation was to wash it multiple or several times throughout the day, so it doesn't get infected or anything, and then lotion and ointment. Now, they specifically didn't say not to use any certain type of product. They were basically like, use what you normally use. Don't go trying any new thing and accidentally giving yourself an allergic reaction. But I personally use fragrance-free stuff because I'm a delicate soul. And yeah, that was basically that. They said if there's anything that's out of the ordinary or you're concerned about, call us. But I did look up like a lot of stuff before the tattoo on Google. Google, I think, might be your friend. And just like asking everyone you know who has a tattoo. So there you go. That is the rapid fire post-tattoo weekend. There you have it. That is my first 24 for 24. Alright, so I have a little bit of a mess on my hands, but I've been playing around with my serger, and I think I'm ready to have an actual project. So, I mean, technically, I have been trying to make this quick sew pattern, and it's hard to like show you, but I've made some, well, that's part of the salvage, and it's just sort of not quite as neat as I would like, so I'm going to try again. I want to make a sweatshirt, but I'm not sure if my material is actually correct for sweatshirt, so I'm just going to make a t-shirt perhaps. Try again on the whole shirt thing. I think I might do a simpler pattern. So that's what I'm gonna do. I've never made a sweatshirt, and I didn't make a very successful t-shirt, so we're just gonna get to it. My serger I got for Christmas. It is a Husky Lock 1000L, which came out in the 90s, but it's sort of like the higher end Husky Lock of that time. It's like the highest end 4-thread model. They had a 5-thread model that was above it, and so that's the machine I have. So we are going to make a shirt today, or a sweatshirt. We are going to make it happen. So yeah, that is going to be one of my 24 for 24. I was going to do my initial first time with the serger, but I ended up doing it off camera and ended up with that kind of sad shirt. So yeah, let's make a sweatshirt or a shirt. Let's have a wearable piece of clothing by the end of today. Alright, so this is what I've decided to go with. It is a Grain Line Studio pattern for the Linden sweatshirt. And so I've got my material, and then this is the ribbing that I'll use for the bottom and the sleeves, and I'm not sure if it's for the top also, but yeah, this lighting is bad, but this is what I'm working with. So first off, I need to cut out my paper pattern, and then I can cut out my fabric using it. So one thing I like to do with tissue paper patterns like this is cut out the largest size no matter what, because you can always fold it back and cut your actual size, and then if you want to make it again for someone else, or if your size changes, then you still have that option instead of having to like resize up the pattern yourself. It's already sized. You just need to fold it down to cut smaller or keep it as is to cut the largest size. So yeah, that's what we're going to get into. Last piece. This only took like 10 minutes to cut out, which is awesome. So now I've got my pieces. We can lay out the fabric. I think I'm gonna just lay it out in the living room, pin, cut. Then we can get working on my bad boy, my serger, which is just out of your view. So yeah, let's just cut to that. Okay, so I have things laid out. Now this is what gets laid out on my fabric, just the sleeve, the front and the back. And then on my ribbing, the ribbing is for the neckline, the sleeve cuffs, and then the very bottom of it. So I will cut that out next, or lay out, pin, cut out next. But first I'm just going to get these cut out, and I'll show you those here, and then show you the cutout pieces. But basically I've been fighting Margaret to get these laid out, and then I'll probably be fighting her when I'm trying to cut out because I am in the middle of the living room. But yeah, that's the little mini update, so let's get these cut out. Woohoo! We have our pieces of, the start at least, not all of it. Of course, it can't be that simple to just have 3 pieces to cut out, but the rest of it is of the ribbing. They're just rectangles, so not too bad. I'm going to cut out the ribbing and I'll meet you at the table. Alright, so I have everything cut out. It's over here on the table. I've got sleeves, front and back, and then my ribbing is right there. So I'm going to get you set up and we are going to start sewing. It is super simple. Basically you just lay the sleeve on top and then you kind of sew it into a flat shape to where everything is just sort of laying flat, and then you sew up like the side seams to, and then add the ribbing to finish off those edges, a little elasticity. So we are just going to go for it. We are going to sew my very first sweatshirt, my first complete project on my serger. So I'm going to get you set up so you can see, hopefully in the best way. Alright, so I have my serger turned on and I figured I'd try and show you, but this is what my little menu looks like, and so I can select 3 thread, because currently I only have 3 of these 4 threads in, and then I've selected my fabric, which goes normal material and then normal stretch. That's what I'm using. And then with these arrows I can look at all the settings that it recommends I have. So like this, it tells me what these should be for my fabric type and I have them set. And then it tells me what my tension should be. That one's blacked out because I don't have that one, but it should be 4, 5, and then this is also 5, but mine is rubbed off. So yeah, that's just like a mini primer on how my serger has things set up. But yeah, now I'm just going to sew. I realize that the overhead lighting is not the best, but yeah, it's the best that I can do. This is like a very good workspace for me at the kitchen, well, dining table. In the sewing room it's a bit of a mess and I don't have quite as much space because I have a standard sewing machine also. So yeah, we are just going to get right into sewing. it's all good. I'm just a little stressed. So I'm going to take some emotional support pins. So while I pin this edge, I think it's probably best to tell you that I have ordered an embroidery machine. Ridiculous, I know. It's something that I've wanted to try, and it's not like it goes bad. Like, as long as you take care of your machinery. Like, this is older than I am, and yet it's still perfect working order. It, you know, it does its job. So that's what I'm kind of thinking going into an embroidery machine. You know, as long as I take care of it, it'll do good. So, yeah. So, it should be here this weekend, which will be after you see this, but I'm excited. I'll probably show it off. But I've got this pinned, so wish me luck. So I've got my first stitch done, or I have my first part of it done, and I think I might have sewn it on the wrong side. So that is fun, but it doesn't really show in the diagram. Actually, let me take a look at the piece. Yeah, it looks symmetrical. It's not a problem. I always end up thinking that I've done something wrong. But yeah, so it's out of the way. Time to do side 2, second sleeve going on. This is like a super quick project. I feel like most of the projects that I want to do are very time consuming and not nearly this quick. And here we have another line done, so it's kind of looking like this at the moment, which is what we want. You can see my stitching, because now we are going to put the back of this on, and we are going to attach it to this side of the sleeve, and then attach it to this side. And so we'll have essentially one really big, it'll just be like, then we can stitch from sleeve all the way underarm down the side, if that makes sense. So yeah, I'm going to do that. Oh my gosh. So I've got the sleeves attached, and as you can see, it looks kind of like this. So now I get to fold it inside out. This is inside out still, and then with right sides together, you basically just seam it from sleeve or cuff down, armpit to side, just like I had explained earlier. So I'm gonna do that, and I think I'm gonna bring you in closer so you can see maybe a little better. And so I have one side all the way sewn up, as you saw. Here's where my cuff will be, then about armpit, down the side. So, whew, I should look, make sure everything's good. Yeah, this is, it's hard to see, but this is what the seam looks like from the inside and then the outside. So, time for the other side. Okay. So, I've got this much done. And yeah, this is what it's looking like on the inside. This turn it right side out. This is what it's looking on the outside. So yeah, now it's just time for top, cuffs, and then the bottom. And then we'll be done. And I can have my first wearable sweatshirt. So I think I'm going to change around the angle again so you can see a different angle while I do the cuffs. So yeah. Another cuff is done. I feel like this has been the longest process so far. But I'm going to do the neckline and the bottom and then get back to you. Alright, I've finished, so I'm going to set you up here so you can see. Obviously it's not perfect. I have this sort of little blip. It's hard to see on camera, but blip in the back, and then the waistband is kind of a touch funky perhaps. It's hard to show you, but I'm going to put it on. This is the back. But, yeah. It's a little hard to see because I'm wearing a dark top underneath, but I made this! And I think I would prefer a smaller size, but I still made it. What do you think? Yeah. Not the best, but yeah. It still fits me as a wearable garment, and I would not be too embarrassed wearing this in public, so I think that's a success. So I'm going to, you know, clean up, tidy up my area, and then I think I'm going to share with you dinner tonight. So I will see you when I'm ready to make dinner. Here's a little better view of my top. So you can see this is navy, this is the black of the cuffs and the ribbing. See sort of the blip. But yeah, not too bad. I'm not embarrassed wearing it, so yeah, this is what I made. I made this today. Alright, so I'm about ready to start making dinner, and so I thought I might as well tell you what I'm making. I'm making this golden curry, which is from Japan, and I do not like curry. The only curry that I have tried that I actually like is Thai green curry. I really am not a fan of Indian flavors with red curry and yellow curry. They just are not my thing. I don't like a lot of Indian flavors in general from what I've tried. But I'm hopeful that maybe I'll find another curry that I like, and Japanese curry is supposed to be on the mild end. So I'm hoping, and this one just kind of looks like gravy. And so I'm gonna give it a go. All it needs is a protein, onion, carrot, potato, water, and a little bit of oil, and then serve over rice or noodles or whatever you want. So I'm gonna do some rice, gonna get started on this, and we are going to try it out. Alright, so I just got my rice started, and now I am going to cut up my vegetables and my meat. I'm going to be using chicken thighs, and then I will start getting assembled, or getting it in my pan and get it cooking. So let's just get to that. Alright, someone's been asking for it, so sit. Sit pretty. Sit pretty. Come on. You can do it. Good girl. She kind of has a love-hate relationship with carrots, so yeah. Back to cutting things up. But first, my rice is cooking away. It's looking fairly good, so I might not need to add more water. Oops. That's why I don't do things one-handed. No, don't be a nosy puppy. Alright, so I have I've got my carrot, my onion, and my potato all cut up per the instructions. So I'm going to get out my pan and get it started heating while I handle the chicken. So like I said, I'm going to be using chicken thighs, and so I'm going to weigh them out and then cut them up a bit so they aren't so large. So I put the styrofoam container of the chicken breast, or chicken thigh, on the scale, and then I tared it out so it zeroed out, and then I removed the chicken, and as I removed the chicken it went into a negative. And then mine, I just grabbed out the closest amount to a pound. I'm not going to cut a little piece of chicken thigh and put it back. But I'm going to cut these up and have them ready to put in the curry, and then the rest, once I wash my hand or get this cut up, will go into a container for another meal. So, yeah, I'm going to cut it up. It's out of your view, but I'm not going to wash my hands just for you to see me cut raw chicken. I'm just going to like cube it up into about the same size pieces. Also just want to share my little helper. There she is. When it's just me, she seems to be relaxed, but when my mom's also around, it's like she amps herself up. Like, my mom can be doing nothing and ignoring her, and she'll get amped up. So my pan is hot. I'm gonna put in my vegetables and my chicken. So I've decided to just get the vegetables started first before I add in the chicken, because the potatoes and carrots will probably take a lot longer than what the chicken will. And someone keeps being nosy. Get your nose out of there. But see, this is what I basically did. I set this on the scale, and then you turn it on, and then as I removed it, it turned into a negative. So I knew that I took out a little over a pound. So yep, and I just cut it up into chunks, and then here's my rice. I turned it off because it seemed to be about done. And then here is my beautiful thing of veg. And since I don't have any seasoning in it yet, I'm going to use a wooden utensil. So just get these kind of started. But yeah, that's where I'm at, and this goes in near the end, so. But golden curry is supposed to be more mild, so I'm hopeful. And this was super cheap. And so overall, this meal should be on the lower cost end, because most of the flavor is coming from the golden curry box, and one box is like under $3 on Amazon is what I got this for. It was like $2.90 some cents. So not too expensive. Chicken thighs I got on sale, so it was a lot cheaper. Rice is one of those staples that a lot of people have in their pantry. And then like carrot, onion, potato, those tend to be on the lower cost end. So overall, this, if it tastes good, this should be a really economical meal. And you know, if it says that it's medium hot heat wise, but reading the reviews on Amazon, it said that it was not spicy at all for a lot of people. So I'm perfectly fine with spice, but something to keep in mind on what to expect. So I'm excited to be trying this, so I'll check in when things are moving along a little bit more. So it's been in the pan for a little bit, and so things are starting to soften up, as you saw, and so I'm going to add in the chicken, and then I'm going to make sure that the chicken gets nice and browned. My pan is a bit crowded, so I hope it's not going to take too long, but then I'll add the water like it says, because you add water, you let it simmer and cook, and then you add in the curry. It feels like there's just a brick in here. I haven't actually opened it up. So, and then you add this and let it dissolve in, melt in, just sort of let it simmer for a little bit. So I'm going to add in the chicken, and then we are going to, yeah, just keep things rolling. I might just cut ahead depending on how things look and how things go. So here's how it's looking at the moment. Like I said, I'm going to let this get browned and then hopefully continue on. Alright, so this is a learning moment. I should have, do what I should have done. So instead of putting the veggies in first, take your chicken, brown it. It doesn't have to be all the way cooked. Brown it, remove it, start your veggies, and then put your chicken in with the water. So I haven't put any water in yet, like it says to, but this is what it looks like. As you can see, my chicken, it's still not, it's not browning. It's steaming because of all the veggies and their moisture. So do what I should have done and just brown your chicken separately. It can be in the same pan, and then remove it, put in your veggies, and then put in your chicken right before you add the water. I'm going to let this cook a little longer, and then I'm going to add my water and the curry powder and continue on with that process. But that's just a learning moment. It's probably not going to affect the overall taste of the dish, so. So it says just water, but I am assuming you could probably do a little bit of a stock or something in it also, but here's what it looks like sad before I get it boiling. There's what it looks like. It looks like a very sad chicken soup. So yeah, that's where I'm at in the process. I'll keep you updated. Alright, so this is how things are looking at the moment. Simmering away. If I had browned it like I said, then I would not have sad gray little lumps. Instead, I'd have beautiful browned lumps of chicken thigh. But looking past that, the curry is gonna have color to it. So I think now's a pretty good time to open this up and see what it sort of smells like, looks like, because I'm just picturing a block. Alright. So this is what it looks like inside the... I was kind of expecting like just a bar of chocolate looking, but this is sealed up like this. I'm going to use all of it because that's the quantity that I made. So yeah, here is what she looks like. Now's the moment of truth. Is it going to smell appealing? Or is it going to smell like Indian curry? Okay, it doesn't smell bad. It kind of just smells like celery. Celery and a touch of spices. It looks like this. Like, it doesn't smell offensive. So, I'm optimistic still. Yeah. I mean, I'm getting a tiny bit of sort of that hint of Indian food, but not like Indian food. Obviously, it's Japanese. But yeah, it doesn't smell bad. So I'm very hopeful. Please be good. So I'm just gonna... we're gonna dump her in. But yes, this is what she looks... She does kind of look like a milk chocolate bar. So I'm gonna adjust you back and we are going to... Okay. So I'm gonna break her up. Ooh, she looks so much like chocolate. I should use, rubber. I'm gonna use a rubber utensil now, so that way, or yeah, a rubber utensil, so that way the flavor doesn't impart on it. So. They're already starting to sort of melt a little. And just tuck, tuck, tuck. Just gently mix them in. Careful not to splash myself like I just did. So yeah, once I'm done getting this incorporated and it's completely finished, I'll plate up and we can taste it together. So yeah, just stay tuned for that. Alright, I think it's about time for the moment of truth. This is what it looks like. I have not plated up yet. But as you can see, it has incorporated. It is a very like golden color. It still kind of reminds me of like gravy. But I'm going to plate up and I will meet you at the table. So I'm over at the table now and I have my golden curry. I hope you can see that all right. I do have some white rice, but it's on a white bowl, so a little harder to see. But yeah, let's give it a go. It still doesn't smell too strong, but you can tell that it's sort of like it has a little bit of an Indian scent, like Indian food scent, so like you can kind of make out like the spices, but let's go. So I've had like 3-4 bites. I got one bite that was just with it on the rice, one with a little bit of chicken, one with potato, and one with carrot. You know, kind of play the field. It's not bad. It has a very, very mild curry flavor. And so it's not like in your face like Indian curries I've found to be. So this is really good. It's not spicy at all. I'm trying to think of what would make it just a touch better, but I do really like it. It's very mild. I feel like this might be a good like introduction curry if you have never had curries before, or like if you have a child in your life that you're like trying to introduce broader flavors to. Because I feel like this is pretty good. It's very mild. I'm very grateful that it is. And now that I've got a lot of it, not that it would be going to waste if I didn't like it, but this is really good. I mean, it's very palatable for my Western palate, my American palate. So yeah, I'm grateful that you got to cook dinner with me, that you got to make a sweatshirt with me, that you got to have insight on my tattoo, and you even went on a hike with me this past month. So overall, it's been a really good year. Let's keep this energy up for the rest of the year, and I will be doing 24 for 24 vlogs once a month. There will be other regularly scheduled videos every Saturday, but the final Saturday or so of the month is when the 24 for 24 will be going up specifically, or at least that is the plan for now. I might split these into multiple videos, but for now I'm thinking one longer video at the end of the month. So yeah, stay tuned for that. Subscribe if you like this, comment, so on and so forth. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you flock and squawk again with me sometime.